What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. It's the post-game reaction show. We're starting a little bit early, a couple minutes early, but that's fine. Ravens took down the Bengals 27-24. Ravens advanced to 2-0. Bengals moved down to 0-2. Bengals fans very upset. The Ravens played a really complete game. Joshua, let's talk about it. How you feeling about this victory?
Let's first start off. Happy Victory Monday. It is great to be a Ravens fan. We are 2-0. We're sitting at the top of the heap for the time being, and hopefully we can keep it going. I feel pretty good, man. Honestly, outside of the injuries, I know that they did an interview with Harbaugh today. He didn't give too much information in regards to Odell or nor Adolphus Way's ankle injuries. I think he said he's gonna keep that kind of close to the vest. So sometimes that could be a good thing, bad thing. We hoping and praying for some good news out of that. Some good news did come out of the day from that interview. Marcus Williams is not getting the injuries, not being put on IR. So we will be seeing him back this season. So that's great. But when I think about that game, man, I really had to give the game ball to that secondary because the secondary was without Marlon Humphrey, also Marcus Williams, but Geno Stone stepped up. Kyle Hamilton, he was still available. Rock Ya-Sin had a great pass breakup against Jamar Chase. Those guys, I mean, granted, yes, they were attacking the middle of the field. Mike McDonald did run a zone, but the way the zone was ran, he kept everything. Those guys kept everything in front of them. They didn't beat them, for anything deep. And even in the end zone, with our corners being small, yes, T. Higgins did catch the touchdown. I know somebody tried to say he tried to do the Hawkeye strut or whatever the case may be, but that wasn't it at all. He has no rhythm. So yeah, game ball we had to go to the secondary. They really stepped up. I know that's a point. I know that's a position room that we talk about that needs a lot of work. It still does need work, but those guys did show up yesterday and helped us get the dub.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge win. And obviously the score, 27-24, that wasn't the feel of the game. The Ravens had this game handled from start to end, and that was the biggest thing. The Ravens, other than one drive out of the entire game, they had 9 drives. One of those drives ended up being unsuccessful. And what I mean, because the final drive of the game, they didn't score, but it was success. They wound out the rest of the clock. They got enough first downs. They did that perfectly. Another drive, missed field goal by Justin Tucker. I still consider that a success. You get in Justin Tucker field goal range. He missed it, unfortunately, but most of the time that's going in. So that's a success. One drive is 3-and-out punt, and that was with about 7.5 minutes left in the game. And the best part about that was took 2 minutes. A tough false start on 1st and 10, and then they tried to do a quick little pass to Zay Flowers. It didn't work out, and they ended up running the ball to try and kill time. Bengals end up getting the ball. Yes, they score. That sucks. The Bengals touchdown drive was 16 plays, 80 yards, 4 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock. The Bengals were trying to score quick. They had to score quickly. And the Ravens defense refused to give up the big play. Yes, they ended up scoring, but the biggest, most important thing that the Ravens defense has struggled with the last few years is teams need to get back in games, and they've been able to do it in one play. Oh, they got a guy over the top. They couldn't do it. They could not get that guy over the top, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They could not get behind the Ravens defense. Even when they got to 1st and goal, took them till 3rd and goal. And they were the Ravens defense just played so well this entire game. Yes, they allowed 24 points. There's really about 17 points because of the kick return for a touchdown. They looked really good. And the offense looked really good. And for some reason, I don't know why, ESPN was talking today, FS1 was talking today, and I'd like to see the things they're talking about. And I saw them debating, are you guys weary of the new Ravens offense? And then I saw another one. It was like, man, the Ravens offense, are you worried about it? And I was like, what? Why would anybody be worried about the Ravens offense? It looks way better. It looks very efficient, looks very balanced. You don't know if they're passing or running with each and every snap. The run game looks really good. Lamar's under center. I mean,
23%. Yes.
like they doubled the amount of under center snaps as a percentage in this game. And, Geno Stone, huge interception that we had. And Joshua brought up the Rock Ya-Sin play. That's one of those things where it's like, we haven't had cornerbacks that have been able to break up passes, like really at all other than Marlon. Anthony Avery couldn't do it. Brandon Stevens hasn't been able to do it, but Rock Ya-Sin was able to do it. And obviously, great play, but you're not going to expect every time the ball's in his air, him to get a PBU, but at least showing that you can do it is huge. Ravens pass rush looked good. Clowney got the sack. Adafe got some pressure. So overall, this was a really good game by Baltimore against a division rival where it's like, okay, even though the score was close, all division scores are close, except for maybe Steelers-Browns tonight. We'll see what happens with that. But I think this was a really, really good game to watch and be like, I'm excited about the Ravens this year. They also, no big injuries. No big injuries today. Huge, huge thing to happen in a victory.
No, most certainly. Definitely an AFC rivalry game. We know how to get in the trenches. We know how our guys love the battle with opposing AFC North rivalry teams. Even though the Logan Wilson tackle was a little bit excessive, I think it was Odell that he pretty much dang near clothesline in the first quarter. Where I mean, and you know what? Shout out to Odell, man. Before he exited the game early in the first quarter,
Odell got hurt. I was wrong. Someone did get hurt. I said nobody got hurt, and someone did.
And Odafe, ankle.
That's right.
Another
I was
one.
wrong.
No. Hopefully, it's nothing serious that's going to keep him out from aiding to the success of this season. That's what we're hoping for. But I mean, between his veteran savviness, his way of running routes, his way of knowing how to take what the defense is giving him, he it's a sight to see. It's a beautiful sight to see. Also shout out to Nelson Aguilar, Nelly. He got his opportunity yesterday and he made the best of it. Devin Duvernay, oh man, I was so hurt that he wasn't able to bring in the one-handed grab. But early in the season, I did say he could have been a cut casualty. I do apologize, Ravens family, if you all felt like I was crazy. I just thought that they may show something else and some other guys, but obviously Devin Duvernay, when he is on the field, he plays a great part. I'm glad to finally see him in the backfield running the ball. I want him to be more aggressive when he get that ball in his hand, as we know he can do. Because the offense looked good. The offense looked more crisp. It looked better, even with us, missing Tyler Linderbaum. Shout out to Sam Mustipher. Also Patrick Macari as well. I'm holding things down on the left side. I think Daniel Falele got in a couple times as well as a rotational tackle as well, and in certain scenes. So it was a good game all around. I love what was going on. Justice Hill, the battle between him and his little brother Dax. Justice didn't look as fresh. I don't know if it's just me. He just didn't look as comfortable as he did previously. Once he started, taking, I wouldn't say taking over, but started adding to the offensive success. I mean, he had moments, but I feel like we should have gave Gus the ball a little bit more when it came down to certain run plays.
Yeah, and I think overall we didn't mention it, but how about that throw to Zay?
Oh man. I knew he was going to get to it, but yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's one of those things where like, okay. Again, another one of those plays where I'm watching and I'm like, man, this isn't being complete. And then Zay comes down with it. And I'm like, wow, I'm very not used to it. I got to give props to Hollywood. Hollywood did once have a double coverage catch against the Bengals. So got to give him credit on a deep post. But my favorite part about that play was that Zay Flowers said we ran that earlier in the game. And I felt like I was open. And I told Lamar, hey, throw it up to me. Earlier in the game, Zay probably wasn't in double coverage. But Lamar throws it, trusts his guy, and then he makes the play after Lamar trusted him. And it's like, okay, that's going to build. Lamar knows, like, hey, if this guy tells me, hey, I was open on this, let me get back to it, I can do that. And I can go out there and call that play and get Zay the ball. If he says, I'm going to be open on this. So that was huge. And then, in terms of Justice Hill running the football, I think he's just getting more carries. And I think the Bengals also have a pretty good run defense. Like they've got a good defensive line. They got DJ Reader, Hendrickson. Yeah. They have somebody else who's pretty solid on the opposite side. Not like they were getting any pressures, but they do have a good run defense. They did okay against Nick Chubb, who's one of the better running backs in the NFL. So, yeah, he didn't look as good, but he still had some burst. Gus Edwards looked really good. It's a good 1-2 combo. Like Gus in the fourth quarter wears him down. Justice Hill at the beginning, like shows him like, hey, we can get to the outside. We can go inside. I think it's a really good combo. I think it's a better combo than Gus Edwards and Kenneth Dixon. And the Ravens were able to have some good success with those guys.
Kenneth Dixon, that was the brother that used to churn his legs. You talking about a younger Gus? I don't know. That was exciting to see, though. Honestly, I like that show. And you had a younger LJ too, because LJ now he's just gliding when he runs with the ball, man. he not even hitting a full turbo on guys. He was just gliding yesterday. It was good to see. I think they was more prepared for him to be more in the pocket. But once we start throwing in the wrinkle of the RPOs, him pulling the ball, running it, I think that that element. It's good to not always have that, not always, implement it in every game, because you can't always prepare for Lamar one way. He's an athletic quarterback. You just have to really be ready for him, because clearly, they saw, okay, well, in the Texans game, he was trying to be more in the pocket, so we're gonna play him in the pocket. What they started doing with him and Tom Monken cooked up, say, hey, I'm gonna fake it. We're gonna do this QB. We're gonna do the read option. If you ain't got it, I'm gonna take it. And he showed when he did have his options, he worked out.
Yeah, and I want to say this right here. I'm addressing this right now because everyone's gonna give us flack till the end of time. All right, Zay has looked amazing. All right, who else did we want? We wanted Addison. All right, I think Zay's been better than Addison, but it's not like Addison hasn't done anything. He's got 2 touchdowns. Touchdown in each of his games, put up 60+ yards in each of his games. So let's not act like we were coming out here saying we needed to draft Quentin Johnson. All right, that is not what we were trying to say. I did not watch the Steelers-Niners game that first week, but I do want to see Joey Porter Jr. as well tonight. Obviously, I'm very happy with that we now have Zay, but I want to get ahead of this.
Well, damn, King Royalty, I thank you for being with us that long. If you remember that we was that mad that we drafted Zay, honestly, it wasn't. If you like somebody in the draft, whether it's NBA, Major League Baseball, soccer, NHL, and your team end up not getting the guy that you coveted, you will be upset too. So everybody acting like that they knew about Zay. Stop it. Y'all didn't really know about Boston.
And we liked Zay in the draft. We just didn't know if he'd be a good fit in Baltimore. That was the thing we wanted. We wanted Addison because we felt like he was the best fit. Obviously, now we're like, okay, Zay looks really good. It worked out. But like the draft, the thing about the draft is you have your favorites. And yes, Zay was not our favorite guy in the draft, but we also had first-round grades on him. Like, it's not like we're out here saying he's a scrub. I did not have a first-round grade on Quentin Johnson. I'll say that.
If we're being completely honest, if you had another wide receiver right now in next year's draft, who would it be? Because I got my eyes on Mr. Torrey Norton from Colorado State. He looked good. He looked great.
Ooh, that Colorado State receiver.
Yeah.
Next year, I love myself Xavier Worthy out of
Mm,
Texas. His
yeah.
comp is Hollywood Brown, but he looks just like Hollywood in college.
Yeah.
Like he's just so filthy. I think he's a little bit more willing for contact, but I really like Xavier Worthy. He's not going to be wide receiver 1. He may be a late first round pick.
Yeah.
Could be a second round guy, but that guy's got speed, hands, very elusive. I really like Xavier Worthy. That's kind of my favorite receiver. Just kind of to watch in the draft class because everyone knows Marvin's insane.
Yeah, he is. See, TJ Wakanda, somebody finally understand what we're saying, because I think we wasn't really looking at the offensive side. We did want an offensive piece, but we really wanted to address our defense first initially.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly,
Remember, we had no corner. We didn't know who was playing opposite Marlon.
I mean, it's working out though. It's working out.
Working out. Rocky Ya-Sin apparently is a savage. So like we're all good now. Everyone's slandering my draft takes. You guys know who I was highest on? Puka Nacua. All right. So everyone that tries to slander me for my draft takes, I was the one. All right. I was the one that started everyone on the Puka Nacua train, and nobody hopped on. Nobody hopped on until they saw week 1. All right. So don't get after me on my draft takes. All right.
It's cool. Just stay.
Puka.
But make sure y'all stay with us throughout the whole season and the offseason when we talk about these other prospective picks too, because it's some guys that looking real good, and there's some guys that stocks going to fall too. But yeah, I think this upcoming draft, I think we'd probably be looking more on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know if so it's going to be
maybe a left guard
or a left tackle.
Uh-oh.
I mean, eventually we're gonna have to address the elephant in the room. One of my buddies, he gets on my case because I defend these guys so bad that sometimes you can't tell me no wrong about them. I love Ronnie Stanley, man, but I know people are getting frustrated because it's shown a lot, not only with the Ravens but also in the NFL. Once you give someone a contract extension and they get that big money, their availability seems limited. It's like they use injuries as PTO time. I mean, I hate to look at it like that, but it just seems like they get the check and they play a couple games. They get whatever they get whatever's earning after the game. I don't know how it's worked in the NFL contracts, if they still receive payment while they injured or not.
If it was an NFL injury, they do.
Okay. But
Naheem Hines got injured on like a snowmobile and he's not getting paid.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, man, it's rough, seeing your all pro left tackle, being out for so long. So yeah, it definitely hurts. So maybe next season or we find a way to address it. But with 99, damn, who's stepping up? Did you not see Mr. 95 yesterday? 95 looked good. 95 was lined up everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's about to be, I'm not saying he's about to be the next best thing out there, but he looked good, once he got his opportunities. And also don't forget, Tyus will be back by game 5. So
yeah. One thing we got to talk about, Matabike got to stop getting these 15-yard penalties. That's 3 in 2 weeks. And this has not been something that's new this year. He's been roughing the passer his entire career. And it's frustrating. It's like you have to learn to pull off. And he just doesn't. And he just consistent, like the face mask, whatever. Like you're grabbing, you're reaching, guys getting through the hole, you accidentally grab, it's fine, whatever. But when you are roughing the passer, you can do that. Now, sometimes there are bad roughing the passer calls. His have not been bad. His have been clear cut, roughing the passer. You're just like, dude, just chill out. Like, just don't hit the quarterback. You have to learn to pull back when you see that ball released. Jump up for the swat. Do something else to get your body to train to not get those roughing the passer calls, because it's just not worth it to extend a drive on third down or second and long. You're just like, it's
Those could be game
demoralizing
changers.
big play.
Those penalties for sure can be game changers. It just it's not easy telling 340 or 330 pounds of man to slow down. That momentum sometimes catch you. But I know with Travis Jones and Justin Metabike, they just go through it. They go through people and they see it all the way through, whether it's a penalty or not. And sometimes it can bite us in the back end. But those guys do need to find some type of way to try to hold it, control it in, because that can really be a thing that can hold us back. And we're already dealing with injury. Excuse me. We already got the media against us, talking about the offensive scheme, and we don't have the defensive pieces. Like I give it to the middle of the season, they will find a way to talk about us. That's what the media does. And we cannot have any costly penalties that's going to keep us away from greatness. But I want to ask you this. I know it's early. We 2-0. We going against the AFC teams. How do you think as we look at the rest of the schedule? How do you think we fare out?
I like the Ravens' chances. I think they have a favorable schedule because they weren't the number 1 seed last year. They don't have to play against the Chiefs. Obviously, there's a lot of you don't want to look past any teams, but I feel like the Ravens can win any game. Watching this offense and watching this team, I'm not worried against any team. Obviously, there's teams where I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a tough win. If they did play the Chiefs, but I would look at them and I'd be like, the Ravens should be expected to win or at least be very, very close to winning every game that they are in. That should be the expectation.
I like that. And we do. I had to go back and look at the schedule. Yes, we do have a game on Christmas Day, man.
We play Niners on primetime, right?
Yeah. 8:15. 8:15.
Best team in the NFL.
Yes, sir. Because now next
against
week
the Niners. Maybe.
Closely Super Bowl prediction, maybe?
I would love that. Actually, I kind of
Jalen
like
Hurts.
I'd rather go against.
You and Matt got worked our friendship out if after the win.
Yeah. He's never watched a team win a championship in his life. All of his favorite teams have failed. So if he wins one with my favorite player in the NFL, Christian McCaffrey, on his team, I'm not going to be too upset.
We got Indianapolis next week. Clearly, Anthony Richardson, he's been playing good ball. He did go out the game yesterday with a concussion. I hope everything works out for him and he gets better. Do you think he plays this upcoming week against us?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be Gardner, which kind of sucks because I think they're better with Gardner. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Anthony Richardson's a total wild card. But I don't know. I think it's a good matchup for the Ravens because the Colts don't have a great defense, and their wide receivers aren't anything special.
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, Indianapolis, they're going through it, and shout out to Jim Irsay being one of the most the trashiest owners in the NFL. Outside of Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft, they're pretty much up there. they're in the category.
No JT though. So thank you, Jim Irsay. Thank you. We appreciate that.
But yeah, man. I mean, I definitely feel like they will possibly take the safety precaution after he goes through concussion protocol. Just give him a week to get his bearings and everything of that nature. So I don't see him playing against us neither. I definitely would love to see him play, just because they gave so much comparison of Anthony Richardson, He plays like a Lamar Jackson. He has the body and athletics like a DK Metcalf and all and everything in that nature. I just want to see the young man in action, because I remember that was another name that was brought up by fellow Ravens fans that if Lamar didn't come back to Baltimore, we should get him. I don't know. I don't know if you remember that, McConnell, but I remember that during the offseason. I didn't want no parts of him, I wanted no parts of him. I would have waited it out, and went for Caleb for this upcoming draft. But I definitely feel like it's going to be a good game. Gardner Minshew, he does have that Ryan Fitzpatrick magic. Sometimes he comes alive, and sometimes the magic ain't magic in how it usually does. So I definitely feel like this is going to be another test, another warm up, for our young guys on that defensive side of the ball, especially the front seven, getting those reps in. And shout out to PQ, man. Stayed in the game. I know he had like a little, I don't know if it was like either elbow or thigh injury, but he was everywhere. He was flying. You love to see somebody when they up for contract still play at the highest level. Whether we give him a contract extension or someone else seeks out his services, he is going to get paid. He is going to get paid.
Yeah, and I think like the Ravens defense just as a whole, I think it's just looked really good through 2 weeks. Obviously, they ended up allowing points, but this modern NFL, they got enough stops. They got a pick. They forced 3 and outs. Just wish you could convert a little bit more, but at the same time, hey, you had the ball with Lamar Jackson winning with under 4 minutes. That is a recipe for success because of how well the Ravens can run the football.
Yeah,
and I love the play calls. It wasn't just standard handoff up the middle. We ran the reverse with Devin Duvernay that got us 8 yards when we only needed 1 first down, and it was okay. I really like what we're doing here, where it's okay, it's still running out the clock, but it's still adding creativity. It's not just run it up the middle, and then it felt like sometimes with Greg Roman we do that. Gosh darn it, Miguel, you're right. I did do that. Let me just delete this preseason. Gosh darn it. I thought I did that last night. I guess I only updated the I'm saving this now. I'm not going to change it, but I'll change it. Gosh darn it. This is so much more extra effort. Thank you for letting me know, but now I got to go through all this extra effort.
Oh, man, that's funny. The only thing I did not like was the simple fact that once we threw I think it was the 50-yarder to Zay, and then when we got to the goal line, he kept on trying to hit him with a bubble screen. I know he wanted to reward him for the touchdown. I definitely could understand that. But I'm like, yo, if they playing it, let's call something else. I'm glad they went in and got Patrick Ricard in there. They're using Patrick Ricard as a true fullback. I did see him in there for a pass play, for a passing route once or twice. But outside of that, he was used in fullback mode yesterday. He was out there knocking dudes out, making the holes available, and Gus Edwards was running behind him hard. So I know we all talked about cutting Patrick Ricard, maybe getting some saving up some free money and things of that nature, man. But honestly, Todd Monken is making it work for all his guys that has been all the guys that's been a part of the team, and that's just getting in the new additions that's becoming a part of the team. Everybody is able to eat in this offense, which is great. And shout out to Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews looked good yesterday. It was good to have him back. That definitely I feel like having Mark back definitely opened up a lot of targets for other wide receivers. Rashad, I would love him to get more targets. I think that just comes with with Lamar being comfortable and feeding everybody and everyone making themselves available. I don't know how long Odell is going to be out. We do hope for a speedy recovery, but maybe in these next couple of games, Rashad get those opportunities to eat like he's supposed to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna see how the Ravens do it, how Lamar does it, how Harbaugh does it. It's just gonna be really interesting watching how the Ravens offense develops with personnel and how often they use different formations in terms of under center, 5 wide, 11 personnel, 22 personnel. How does it adjust? Do the Ravens get more or less as the season goes on?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I got for today. Who you got tonight? Steelers or Browns?
If I had to choose, them a route with the Browns. I like this. I really can't stand the Steelers. I would never choose Steelers unless it was like, no, I just would never choose the Steelers. No, I'm sorry. So yeah, I would like for the Browns to come out with the W.
Yeah, I think I'd like the Browns to do it, but I'm going to say that the Steelers get the win. 26-10.
They still got that same trash offensive coordinator.
They do.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to Browns now. Nick Chubb
still got back Canada.
Nick Chubb running down the throat, baby. Deshaun Watson, whatever Deshaun Watson plays showing up tonight, just have a good game.
I got some fantasy implications on tonight. I'll say that. I need the Saints defense to not do that great. I just need them to not put up 17 points in fantasy. But I'm in a game and I'm up by 6. I have Jamal Williams, but I'm playing against Najee Harris. So I'm just hoping that Najee doesn't do that good. That's all I'm hoping for. But everyone,
I do respect that. I respect that moment.
It's just to win to get the 1 in the division, and they'll be 1-0. Yeah, but the Browns are 1-0 in the division. So I don't know. The Browns and Steelers are both undefeated. One of them is going to be 2-0 after this week. So I don't know. Who do you guys think is the better team? Really, I think the Ravens struggle kind of equally against both of them, because they both have really good pass rush, but I'm more worried about Deshaun Watson than Kenny Pickett.
True.
Football-wise and personally. I don't know. Kenny Pickett is also kind of a weirdo, though. I don't know. But yeah, Amari Cooper is active. I did see that. So if you guys are starting in fantasy or worried about that, you're all set. But thank you all so much for coming through. Subscribe for Daily Ravens content. Let us know, are your fantasy football teams 2-0? Because the Ravens are 2-0. That's all that really matters. But, Stanford's 1-2, and they lost to Sacramento State, so that sucks. But
I heard about
that. All good. It's all good, guys. I'm a Ravens fan, so we're winning. That's all that matters. All right. Thank you all so much. We'll see all you again next time. Oh, Steelers are 0-1. I'm stupid, guys. I am legitimately stupid. I put preseason in the thumbnail. And yeah, the Steelers got killed by the Niners. I brought it up earlier in the stream. What am I talking about? Okay. I guess it's because last night before the Dolphins game, I was looking at undefeated teams in the AFC, and I was like, oh, there's 2 teams that haven't played yet that are undefeated, but one of them was the Dolphins. And I was thinking that they were the Steelers for some reason. I don't know, guys. I brought it up earlier in the stream that they got killed. I don't know what about. I need sleep. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. We'll see all of you again next time.